We might as well talk about Aaron Rodgers because most of the world is. So we saw him coming in looking like Blade Runner today, looking very relaxed in his Kevin Chill shirt from The Office. I'm curious to hear from you your thoughts on this and where this will end up if you were to forecast and how things are changing for the Packers. What's the end run here?
Well, look, I'm gonna begin this at the beginning where I've thought, and I wrote this in the last column before I went on vacation, that really the only solution is a two-state solution. That Rodgers agrees to give them this 1 year, and then the Packers agree to trade him in the off season next year, and that apparently is exactly what it is. The reason that I believe that was the best way is because I think after all the pressure, and look, Aaron Rodgers is a passive-aggressive guy. He was very angry at the Packers, will never trust them, all that other stuff. But he also, there's two other huge factors. He loved most everything about Green Bay, the fans, the history. And I mean, I walked the field with him a couple of years ago doing a Bart Starr story when Starr was struggling so much. And we walked the field, and at one point he looked up at the Ring of Honor there, and he said, hopefully I'll have my name up there one time. And I said to him, I don't think you have to worry about that. And he said, we'll see. But you could tell that was something that really meant a lot to him. And I don't think he wanted to burn bridges. I think that's part of this. And I think he also figured right at the end, because, I mean, as Adam Schefter reported, and I thought reported superbly yesterday, this basically came down to the end. This was a late compromise, I think. And so now as we sit here, it's very, very clear that the Packers understood a month or so ago that they would be willing to compromise and to say if Aaron plays one more year and he still wants out, they'll get him out. And Aaron, I think, finally came to that realization. The last thing about this I think was really important is that, look, I think the last thing that Aaron wants to do is sit there all year. And look, he's a guy who can avoid getting caught up in the day-to-day stuff. But I don't think anybody likes to have his name and his reputation fricasseed for an entire football season. And honestly, I think that's probably what would have happened if he didn't report to Green Bay and said he was sitting out the year.
There's no doubt about it for somebody who is so low-key like that he wouldn't want to go through that. Also, in making a plan for the next stop, he wouldn't want to take that baggage with him. How has Tom Brady and what he's done changed how all quarterbacks of a certain ilk look at how they can start programming their futures?
Suzy, during the Super Bowl last year, cameras focused twice on Russell Wilson, at least one time sitting with Roger Goodell, and I think the other time was on the field. But when he was sitting with Roger Goodell up in his box, Russell Wilson, looked like his dog just died. And I heard later on that he was miserable that weekend because he looks down at the field and said, Tom Brady created this. Tom Brady created an exit from New England, a 22-point Super Bowl win, just by the sheer audacity of saying, I'm not going to finish my career in New England. I want to go somewhere where I'm going to have a say about a lot of things, i.e. Antonio Brown, let's just say. Even though he didn't dictate that, it was clear that the team acceded to that once they saw how important it was to Tom. And so I think all veteran quarterbacks who are a little bit unhappy with one thing or another about where they are, all veteran quarterbacks look at Tom Brady and say, I salute you because you wanted out, you got out, you did it in a classy way. Look, there's going to be 10% of the people in New England who hate Brady for leaving, but the vast majority are going to salute him and say, you gave us everything that you had. And just like Robert Kraft said at the end, you deserve to go and do what you want in the last year or 2 or 3 of your career. So I think Aaron Rodgers, time will tell. Will he ever say that Brady's thing influenced him? I don't know. But clearly, any veteran quarterback who's unhappy should be emboldened by Tom Brady.
Peter King here on the Rich Eisen Show. I was listening to Dan Patrick on the way in, as I always do, and he had Matt Damon on, and he asked Matt Damon if it's the Patriots and the Bucks in the Super Bowl, who do you root for? And he, of course, said Tom Brady. And I think that says, I think a lot of people from New England feel that way. I mean, I grew up there. My brother is and his kids bleed Patriot. I guess we'd say blue, but it's really interesting because he did leave in the classiest of ways. Has there ever been a time in the NFL where the quarterback had so much power in making these decisions?
Not that I know of, and I think a lot of it. And I'm not saying that it goes back to free agency in baseball or power grabs in basketball. But I do think that we are going to see a change, Suzy. I think we're going to see players who are unhappy, like Aaron Rodgers. And look, everybody will say today, the Packers won. They got Rodgers to come back. I won't say that. And the reason I won't say that is that Aaron Rodgers, who was in the middle of an extended contract and being paid $1 jillion, a lot of that money up front, basically now has shot his way out of Green Bay. He's just got to give him 6 months more than he ever wanted to. So, to me, Aaron Rodgers is still going to have, say, 2 to 4 prime seasons, if he chooses to, at another place. Let's say Denver. I think that seems like the most logical place for him to go, but we'll see. He's still going to have 2 to 4 prime seasons, and whatever money he makes, it'll be ridiculous, whatever it is, but he's going to have a chance to go somewhere and to do what Tom Brady did, which is to win a Super Bowl somewhere else.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.